just wanted to introduce myself and let you know how I describe myself. You know I'm a registered dietitian by trade, lifestyle coach in Philadelphia. But I describe myself as the quintessential peasant cook, kind of a modern day version. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is I buy my food seasonally, I buy a lot of it fresh, and I buy things on sale. I batch cook, and I cook a lot from scratch. And I utilize my freezer and my pantry quite a little bit. And then I use a lot of herbs and spices to take those little kind of plain batch cooked items that I make and bring it up to speed in a lot of interesting ways so it stays exciting and new night after night. And finally, what I mean by being the quintessential peasant cook is that nothing in my kitchen goes to waste. Now, I have a modern day twist on it because not only am I on a budget, but I'm also very, very busy. So how do we, as women, pull this off? Ideas? Superwoman? Is that it? No, what ideas do you have? Okay, you plan ahead. That's what you do. Okay, I do too. What else? What other things work for you guys? You're well organized. Get organized.
You only have a kitchen,
Ooh. How do you do those spontaneous things like chocolate chip cookies?
because if you don't have them, then you can't eat.
So have what you need. That's true. Yes.
I substituted things like applesauce if I don't have enough butter on hand for the cookies.
Right.
So, substitute with what you do have is sometimes a good thing, or leave out what you don't, or that'll help save time.
And it's amazing what ingenuity creates. It really is. Well, I can tell you how it doesn't happen. In other words, these are some great ideas for how to bring this idea of being quintessential peasant cooks into your own kitchen. But one way it doesn't happen is it's Tuesday night, you've been at work all day, you're driving home, you're already late, you pick up the kids, you get everybody gathered in, you're exhausted, you've had everything to do, and you somehow got everything accomplished. And then you all sit down at the dinner table and you look at one another and you say, what would you like for dinner tonight? And guess what happens? It's a pizza night. Or it's a macaroni and cheese. That's probably even better than carryout or going out, doing the fast food pizza thing. And it's funny because as I flew in here today, the attendant on the plane, actually I flew in yesterday, so sorry about that. But when I flew in, the attendant on the plane asked me what I like to drink. I said, I'll have a club soda with wine. That's kind of my favorite plane combination. And he says, I'll see if we have the wine. A few minutes later, he came back and he says, well, ma'am, sorry, no vegetables. I thought, that's kind of odd that he said it that way, not knowing that I'm a dietitian. And then he reaches over, pulls out 2 pretzel packets, and he hands them to me and says, oh, would you like your dinner now? And I'm thinking, if you really only knew how appropriately that describes how the majority of Americans really do eat. All carbohydrates, no vegetables, no fruits, and of course they get their protein and fat in there too, but this very off-balance picture of what we should be eating. So, I know that you guys came here today with some very special nutrition interests and concerns. And when we talk about food and how it relates to health, what are some of the things that you're most interested in? What are the things that influence your purchases when you do go shopping? Yes.
Well, I think I'm in a habit of just buying, fresh things that I like. And so I'm interested in learning more about the seasonal approach, like getting used to not always having, what you want all year long, and learning to cook a little more as part of the seasons and the cycles of nature.
Very interesting. So being in sync with the environment and what we should be eating at any given time here. Very interesting. What are some other things that you're interested in? Yes.
I'm a little confused with the organic versus non-organic, and trying to figure out because of the number one, the price issue, what looks good, and a lot of times some of the organic stuff doesn't look as fresh, or I'm just not sure what is really important to eat organically. what we can get away with one-on-one.
Well, guess what? We will talk plenty about that. We will definitely talk about that. What other things are you interested in? Health issues or concerns?
Not just staying healthy, not
Well, I can tell you, it's the exact opposite of how we gain a pound a day, and that's cutting back about 50 calories each day, and you got it made. We literally gain weight by 50 extra calories each and every day, and it seems like nothing, but as we're walking by that desk and we pick up 2 Hershey's Kisses, or we have an extra slice of bread, or an extra roll at the table, or perhaps it's just that we had about 8 ounces of soda because we were thirsty and that's what was available. So likewise, finding ways to cut back on 50 extra calories is good. But we'll talk also about that, how to kind of shave off the pounds gradually to get to where you want to be without feeling like you're cutting back. Well, go ahead.
I forget what the anachronism is, genetically engineered.
GMOs.
GMOs. Yeah, if it's not labeled, if you're in a fresh fruit aisle, if it's not labeled, how do you know? And if there is a label, is it supposed to be on a label?
A very curious question. We will talk about GMOs a little bit, and if I don't answer that question, please bring it to my attention because I do have an explanation for you. It may not be exactly what you want, but I do have something. Well, it's interesting. I work with people all the time in my private practice. A lot of women. In fact, the majority of my clients, 80% are women. And they come in and they tell me, I can share with you what some of their issues are. Heart disease, cancer prevention, managing their blood sugar. Yes, losing weight, but also eating for energy, kind of curbing the cravings. And most importantly, doing something for themselves that they can also apply to their family. Something that's good for everybody. And I can also share with you some of the tricks that they have implemented that make being a quintessential peasant cook possible in their household too. And it comes down to, yes, planning, practice, and perfection. And that sounds really, really oversimplified, but without a plan, you just can't make it happen. It turns into a Tuesday night every single night of the week, and you find yourself on the phone ordering pizza in. So, the best thing you can do is plan ahead. Where does it start? Does it start with the list? Does it start with the menus? Does it start with what's in season? And it's kind of a combination of all these things that help decide what you wind up purchasing at the supermarket. So I'm going to actually talk about those particular points and walk you through the supermarket aisles as we make several different recipes here today. And I use the word we because we're going to make this together. It's not really just me. And I know that each of you, whether you're a peasant cook already or a want-to-be peasant cook, or maybe you've never really heard that and thought about that before in your life, but you're bringing some skills to the table. And I want to give you an opportunity to share your thoughts along those lines. I've got several different recipes that I felt captured some of the foods that represented nutritionally what women need to be focusing on. I included the first recipe that we're going to make is actually a spinach, strawberry salmon, almond salad. And I love it because, especially this time of year, it's dynamic in color. You've got the beautiful dark, rich greens, which are loaded with vitamin A and folate and fiber. You've got the gorgeous red popping strawberries, and then the almonds for some protein. I like the salmon because it does include some of the omega-3s, which we know are also very important for helping lower our risk of heart disease. So that was the first recipe I've got on my list.